Hello, welcome to Wake Up the Black Nation. I'm your brother, your minister, Richmond X, signing on. And the title of today's broadcast is Ghana Bans Skin Bleaching Creams, the Science of African Self-Hatred. Brothers and sisters, even though we have been free for 150 years in the United States of America, many of our people are still mental slaves. You see, the Europeans, they took the shackles off of our hands and off of our feet. But many of us have not taken the shackles off of our minds. And this is not just in America. This is in Africa, the Caribbean, and also Europe. You see those 400 years of oppression, of slavery, of colonialism. It did a number on our people. And what we are seeing in the year 2016 is black men, beautiful sisters and brothers, who are destroying their skin, destroying how God made them. So I got to salute Ghana for banning skin lightening creams. We have many of the celebrities in Ghana who are using these skin lightening creams. Also, they can look more European. You even have one of the famous boxers who admitted to using skin lightening creams so he could become an ambassador to Germany. But now, as we do more and more research, we are finding out that these skin lightening creams have been linked to cancer. They cause rashes on the skin and do all of these terrible things to your skin because you're not supposed to play with nature. You're not supposed to be changing the way that God made you. So we have to ask ourselves, why are so many of our people destroying their skin? Why do so many of our people hate themselves when they look in the mirror and they see their black skin or their brown skin? They look in disgust. Who put that idea into their mind in the first place? Because we haven't always been like this. Before the European came to Africa, our people were not using skin lightening creams. Our people were not perming their hair or trying to change their appearance to look more like that of a European. So the root of it is white supremacy. The root of this problem is white European world domination. Since the enemy controls most of the media outlets, since the enemy spends the money to make most of the movies that we watch, and they spend most of the money to create the shows that we look on television, that we watch on television, what is happening is our people are being bombarded with these images. There's a social engineering that's going on. Our people are being brainwashed by the European standard of beauty. Our black women watch the white woman on the TV and they see her being looked at as the most beautiful woman in the world. That's the opinion of the European. And since we don't have sufficient media outlets, that's all they see. And they see many of our black men chasing after the European woman or the lighter skinned woman. So they want to be that because they think that the lighter that they are, the more successful that they will be in life. This is a result of white supremacy. And let me say this before I go any further. The black woman is the most beautiful woman on earth. She's been the most beautiful woman on earth since the beginning of time, and she will be the most beautiful woman on earth until the end of time. But this skin whitening epidemic, it's all about self-hatred. And many of our people hate themselves so much that they pass that hate down to their children. I know black men right now who told me that growing up, their own fathers would call them blackie. Their own family members would make jokes about how dark they were. I remember one brother said that his own family members used to say that he was so black that he looked like a turned off television. I know one brother who said his grandmother, she was such a mental slave that she would serve the light-skinned members of the family before she served the dark-skinned members of the family. Self-hatred. And many of our people are destroying the self-esteem of their children while they're infants. This is why the teachings of the most honorable Marcus Garvey are so important. Because he's seen when he traveled all across the world how black people looked at themselves. They didn't have faith in themselves. They didn't have black love. They didn't have self-love. So he created a doll company and began to give little girls black dolls so they could see themselves, so they could see the beauty in that doll that looked like them. Because when you give a little black girl a white doll, a European doll with blonde hair and blue eyes, what are you telling that black girl? That she's not beautiful. And that if she wants to be accepted into this society as a beautiful woman, then she has to look more like the white woman. So it's very important that we start teaching our young people that black is beautiful while they're still young. Because the enemy has set up a system where they are going to be bombarded with images every single day of the white standard of beauty. Now, Ghana is not the only place that has a skin bleaching epidemic. In Nigeria, somewhere around 70 to 77% of the women have admitted to using skin whitening creams. In Togo, 20-something to 25%. And all over the Caribbean, I just watched a documentary about brothers and sisters in Jamaica, I believe it was, who are using skin whitening creams, destroying themselves, destroying how God made them. This must stop. It is our role as teachers, as leaders, as revolutionaries to create films, movies that show images of beautiful, dark-skinned women and men. Because even when you look at some of these black filmmakers, what do you see? They're always casting the most light-skinned brother or sister. We got to change that. It's time for a cultural revolution. Because before we get any land, before we get any food, clothing, or shelter for our people, then we have to work on the mind. Because even if we were to get free today and to get a land of our own, what sense would it make if our people still hated each other? We would be oppressing our own. Now, when you look at these rappers, many of these rappers have so much power that it's ridiculous. They have the power to change the way that the people think. But when you look at many of them in their music videos, they always have these light-skinned women. The lightest, the brightest woman. They have the woman with the blonde hair. So even though she's so-called African American, She looks more like a white woman. I remember looking at TV. I saw Beyonce on there, and for the first 5 to 10 seconds, I thought it was a white woman. But that was Beyonce. So it's the rapper's responsibility to put more dark-skinned sisters into the video, to show the world that black is beautiful and it has always been beautiful. For example, Ludacris, he had a song, the name of the song is escaping me, but he went to Africa and was filming all of these beautiful black women. He didn't just show light-skinned women, he showed all colors, light skin, brown skin, and dark skin. Beautiful black women. That's an example that we should follow. So I hope that every single country in Africa will ban skin whitening cream. Because at the end of the day, if you are trying to change your complexion, then that means that you hate God. Because God was the one who created you this way. But I understand what is going on. Hell, we even have many of our people in Africa who still have portraits of a white Jesus on their wall. And since they have portraits of a white Jesus, then they subconsciously think that the white man and the white woman is God. And so they spend their entire lives trying to get away from everything that's black, trying to get away from everything that's African, and trying to look more like the European. You see, this is nothing new. This whole skin whitening, these skin whitening creams have been around since the days of Garvey. And Garvey always spoke against skin whitening creams. That's the ultimate disrespect to your ancestors. You literally are your ancestors. So the skin that you are in was passed down to you from your ancestors. So the parents have to sit down with their children every single day and let them know that black is beautiful. Instill pride in your children. My mother did this to me. I went to an all-white school for the first half of my life, but never once did I want to be white. Because my mother always taught me that black is beautiful. You understand? Images are powerful. Now I want to talk to the celebrities, the African American celebrities, because they really don't understand how much power that they have. When you look at these shows like Atlanta Housewives and these other reality shows, what do you see? Beautiful black women trying to look like white women. So the sisters in Africa see that and they think that's how they're supposed to look. So we got to take a responsibility to change this thing. It's time for revolution. Black is beautiful. Always remember that. Your who grew.